Jasmine calling from Organically Glow. How are you doing today? All concerned right now are the bloating, just trying to figure out what is actually causing the bloating. What's changed now that's making you kind of want to actually take this more serious? Number one is you definitely just want to figure out more of the root causes behind the bloating, constipation, the fatigue, and then obviously you just want to start feeling better, more confident in your body, more, just more energy overall. So I can definitely help you with that. So usually where I like to start is obviously testing. So testing is super, super important because it's actually going to pinpoint exactly what is going on in your body. What is your body trying to communicate to you? So I like to start with blood work. So your sister is 100% right. But blood work is very comprehensive. That's why that's usually my first place to start. I do blood work a little bit differently though from the doctor. So I'm more so looking at functional ranges, which is not more so looking at trying to diagnose a disease, trying to treat a disease. I'm looking for how to optimize your health. We're looking for imbalances. We're looking for, okay, well, is it really a gut issue, or is there a parasite, or is there heavy metals? There's so much more than, here, take this pill. You know what I mean? So that's where I would definitely recommend starting. Has just been recently diagnosed with PCOS. So this is something that is popping up everywhere. It has so much to do with the stress we experience. It has so much to do with toxins that we're exposed to. And on top of that, it has so much to do with our nutrition. Never just one root cause. It is a multitude of different root causes that eventually lead to a lot of these diagnoses that we're experiencing. Especially as women, when it comes to PCOS, I find this being the most frustrating experience ever, because deep down you know something is wrong, right? Your periods are messed up, you're gaining weight, maybe you're losing weight, you have acne. There's so many symptoms that come with PCOS, and you go to your doctors, you get blood work done, and they say, yeah, maybe you have some high testosterone, but you're not meeting the criteria to be diagnosed with PCOS. So you're left with absolutely zero answers and zero solutions. And that's the problem. They really wait until you have all of these biomarkers that are out of balance, that are abnormal, to finally be like, oh yeah, actually, by the way, you do have PCOS. And here's birth control, or here's spironolactone, right? Those are really the only two things that they prescribe you. It's the only things they talk about. Even if you ask them questions, well, what about my diet? What about my lifestyle? What about stress? You do your own research, right? So you know what questions to ask these doctors, and they're not saying anything. And it's not because they're withholding information from you. They genuinely don't know. Very limited resources that they can offer. And on top of that, women's health is literally the most underserved area in the wellness and the medical community. So this is why I'm so passionate, because us as women, we deserve real answers, we deserve solutions, and we deserve to hear so much more than just take a pill, right? You deserve to know all of these things that you can do to help your body heal. And the first step is really understanding what is going on internally. These women are coming to me and they want answers, but on top of that, they want to commit to actually changing their life, to changing their health, to changing their outcome, and changing that label that they were given by the medical system. So if this is something that really resonates with you guys, if you guys are interested in really learning how to, number one, understand your body, and on top of that, how to heal your body, then this is for you. Nutrition and functional medicine is for you, and we would love to help you with that. What I find with PCOS is, number one, it is a blood sugar issue, right? It is more so insulin resistant. So I can definitely go over the blood work with you and then just give you really a plan of action. And lifestyle changes make such a huge difference, especially when it comes to PCOS. Really learning to, manage your stress, really learning to really focus on the nervous system. And then of course, putting those habits in place place that really sets you up for success. So definitely everything you're doing is amazing. Like, it's so good. Like, that is such a great foundation right there, and especially because it makes you feel good. I hear you too, and it's understandable, especially when it comes to PCOS. I mean, usually with the gynecologist with cysts, if you do have cysts, it really depends on how big they are. That's when they would have to go in and do surgery. But most often what I find is we naturally have cysts, like in our ovaries all the time. But what happens is they dissolve on their own, usually. So when I am looking at PCOS more from like a functional medicine perspective, testosterone, we're not supposed to have a lot of testosterone as women. However, when we are dealing with blood sugar issues, the insulin resistance, then that can actually, our body's natural response to counteract that blood sugar imbalance is to actually increase testosterone. And I say PCOS, I know it's a label, right? So that's something that we don't want to get like connected onto. Like, it's good to be mindful and understand that, you know, this is something we're dealing with, but we also don't want to label ourselves with that. So that's more so for doctors to treat you, right? So they get a diagnosis and they're able to treat that diagnosis. But I want to really help you rebalance your body. So that's the main focus here. A fatty acid need. So that just means that there's an imbalance in your omega-3, 6s, and 9s. Basically, our fatty acids are super, super important for, number one, really supporting your inflammation levels. So if there's an imbalance in your fatty acids, that can actually increase inflammation in the body, and that can lead to, you know, all of the hormonal issues. It can lead to blood sugar issues. So it's really important to, again, identify the root causes of the inflammation. Correct. So your cortisol levels were actually lower than I would like to see. So again, so there's different levels to like adrenal stress. So when we are under like acute stress, so like maybe you got in a car accident, or maybe, you know, you broke a leg or something, your body goes into this natural response to try to protect you. And so it'll tap onto our adrenals. It tells our adrenals, hey, you need to produce cortisol so we can actually run away from whatever is causing this issue, or it's going to tell you to release cortisol so you can get your blood sugar pumping, and then you're running. So it's more of that fight or flight response. If that happens over a long period of time, so your brain is constantly stuck in this fight or flight response, it basically tells your adrenals, hey, you need to keep pumping out cortisol until eventually you can't. So then the adrenals, instead of being high functioning adrenals, it goes to low functioning adrenals. So then we're not producing enough cortisol, and we actually do need cortisol to get yourself out of bed. So when we have that cortisol not being produced enough, then we can feel super fatigued, we can feel super exhausted. So it does lead to blood sugar imbalances too. So those are all connected right there.
Building an empire